We think he might be Russian mafia.
And he was a member of Vorev Sakonia. In Russian prisons, your life story is written on your body. In tattoos. If you don't have tattoos, you don't exist.
I'm not really thinking of my other movies when I make a movie. It's hard enough. You got enough to handle just to make the movie work without worrying about how it fits in with the other movies, you know, like a tile mosaic, you know. I don't really think of them that way. On the other hand, I do have a tendency to like my movies to be very intimate and very physical. And that's probably in a way maybe what you're feeling when you think of that. I guess epicness is just not, I think epicness still requires intimacy, you know, I mean it's about individual people, and I like to get close to those people and feel them, and you could smell them and hear them breathing and stuff. To me, that's one of the great things that you can do with film, and it's something that I'm very attracted to doing.
I have address you wanted. Small village, outside Novokuznetsk. I know it. Not good place for a kid to grow up. Especially not little girl. If you want my opinion, she would be better off in London. Maybe with you. Why not?
I have an automatic filter to take out things that are going to bore me because I've done them before. And I assume that if I'm bored, then my audience is going to get bored too, you know. So I am an audience first, myself. When I think of a project, even if I'm writing it myself, I am my first audience. So if it feels too familiar and it's something that's too not exciting enough because it is boring, then you know, that's an automatic thing. It doesn't take thought; it's more intuition, you know. But I don't really, you know, you can paralyze yourself so easily by worrying about abstract things, like the way people perceive you. Should you be now, given the arc of your body of work, be doing the musical comedy, you know? What you have to realize is it's very hard to get a movie made. And especially when you're picky, like I am, about who you work with, and you want to work with the people who are going to support you, that you feel comfortable with, and you want the budget that the movie needs, you need the actors that you feel are the right actors. You can't really pick and choose in accordance with how you feel your career should go. I've never really thought of my career as separate from me. I mean, some people talk about, well, it might not be good for you, but it'll be good for your career. I mean, I've never understood, is it like a little dog that's on a leash, you know, your career, you feed it. So I can't really worry about that, because, as I say, paralysis would result if you worried about what your movies were, how people perceived you, what they expect of you, what they don't like, what they do like. You know, you have to forget all that. Just work on a movie that you love, that's going to feed you, that's going to challenge you, and that's enough. I mean, that's a major full-time job, so without worrying about that other stuff. I suppose, in a sense, I assume that the audience has never heard of me before. I don't assume that they're coming to see a movie by me, they're just coming to see a movie. And the movie has to work that way, without them knowing anything about me, having no context. That's my assumption. And if you are depending on your context to make a movie work, I think it's a big mistake. The other thing is that it's completely unpredictable how an audience is going to react. Don't forget, the movies that I make now get distributed in maybe 50 to 100 countries, and different cultures, different languages, different religions, different movie experiences, different censorship sometimes. How can you possibly predict how all of those people are going to react to your movie? You can't really. So you make it in accordance with your own intuition. And that includes the violence. It's no different really from the dialogue. I mean, as I point out, 95% of Eastern Promises is people talking to each other. I mean, I spend much more time on that than on any scenes of violence. And I'm just as intensely focused on getting that right as the scenes of violence. And you know, I don't really, not all my movies have violence in them, actually. And what works for a movie like, let's say, The Fly, would not work for a movie like Dead Ringers, let's say, or even The Dead Zone. Those are, each movie has its own level of reality and fantasy. You know, if you're making a comedy and somebody slips on a banana peel, you don't want to show the reality of somebody slipping on a banana peel, which actually could be quite horrific. I mean, people wreck their lives, break their backs, crack their skulls slipping on a banana peel. But you don't show that in a comedy because that's not what the level of reality is there. So I really pay more attention to that as it relates to a particular movie I'm making. And I never think that I'm imposing something on a film just because people expect it of me. I think that would be a huge mistake.
You think I didn't know already? He told me before. It was my idea. He said, now, there are a lot of things I have to teach you. It will take a long time. I've been protecting you until now.
Kirill.
Da Kirill. Tachyon. You think I don't know things that you don't know? Jouw voor het rождения. The star's a f***ing birthmark for me.
Я знаю.
Так знай.
First, you're dealing with the normal things that you deal with every day, which are, have you cast the right actors? Are they dressed the right way? Have you got the right locations? Is the lighting the right lighting? It's detail by detail by detail work that you're making the movie. And you have to remember, you cannot photograph an abstract concept. You are photographing people, mainly. You're photographing human bodies, basically. And that's why I think that filmmaking lends itself very much to body consciousness. Unlike, let's say, novel writing, which is filtered through the abstract medium of language, is not really anywhere near as body aware necessarily as the film medium has to be. So out of these bodies that you're photographing as you're speaking in the narrative and so on, abstract thoughts are generated in the audience. But you're not photographing them directly, you know? And so it's through story, through language, through character study, through observation of people that you start to encourage this kind of abstract thought. But I'm never drawn to themes. I mean, how can you be drawn to a theme? If it's just such an abstraction, you know? So those things come much later, analytical things after the fact. They never come before. I never say, I must do a movie that expresses this abstract concept. It never occurs to me. I don't think in terms of categories of movies, you know? So it's not like, God, I've never really done a musical comedy, or I've never done a whack-ball, screwball comedy. I simply don't think that way. I mean, I think first of all my movies are funny on a certain level. So I feel in a way I've done as much comedy as I feel I need to do, and I think it's been done quite well at times. But so even as I don't really think so much about genre, I don't think I must do, you know, another gangster movie, or there's, you know, a cowboy movie or a western or something. If something came along that happened to be a western and it was amazing and I thought I could really relate to it, I wouldn't hesitate, because equally I would not cross it off the list because of what its category was. Because as I say, once you start to make the movie, the creative challenge ceases to be about the genre or the conventions of the genre, and it's the normal dramatic problems that you have, the challenges that you have, and you forget all about that.